Greetings, listeners. Welcome to the All Night Society broadcast. I am Eurydice. And first, the news. Orpheus lied. There was no cruise ship that sank in the Caribbean last month, but we all know what happened. Councilman Rickman has officially been removed from his position and has been replaced with Councilman Trent. Long may he reign. A small forest fire broke out northwest of Charleston. It was over almost before it began. The National Association of Real Estate Brokers convention ended with Donald T. Williams, the newly installed president, urging millennials to build wealth through home ownership. Good luck with that. And now this is a story submitted by Noah Body, called Little Miss Dolly. I've always loved dolls. Porcelain skin of their faces locked in eternal youth. I love to comb their hair, I can dress them up however I like. They are mine. I control every aspect of their being. I love that they don't complain if I brush their hair too hard or if I'm a little too rough when playing with them. They are perfect and will remain perfect forever. Had been keeping an eye out for a little while to find the perfect doll, and I did. Her name was Little Miss Dolly. She was made up to be some kind of celebrity, and I wanted her more than any doll I've ever found. It took months until she was finally mine. I could comb her hair, dress her up, and play with her in any way I felt fit. I had given her a little rocking chair and put her in my doll room, her new home. On the first night that she was finally mine, I will admit that I may have been a little too rough, but nothing that I couldn't fix later. However, I had played enough for that day. I decided to go to sleep. I woke to the sound of my house creaking in an almost rhythmic pattern. Not perfect, but still more than someone just stepping on the floor. At least I knew someone hadn't broken into my house. The creaking continued, but I couldn't find it. I searched the other rooms, making sure that each one of my dolls was in their proper place. I climbed into the loft room. I was sure I had heard the sound from there. When I opened the door and turned on the light, I saw that Little Miss Dolly was no longer in her chair. Her chair had been knocked over. I was furious. I was terrified that someone had broken into my house and had stolen my precious doll. There was a noise from downstairs and I went straight for the kitchen, hoping to still find them. If I did, I'd have something for them. My brother's knife. When I entered the kitchen, I discovered something more shocking than my missing doll. A few of my knives had gone missing, including the very one I had intended to use. I heard the sound of a door opening. It sounded as though it came from Little Miss Dolly's room. Of course, the culprit was still in her room. I thought maybe they had hidden it in the closet. I went to check and I was right. The door was open. When I threw open the door to catch them in the closet, it was empty. When I went to check under the bed, I heard a noise down the hall. I rushed to investigate. That was when I saw Little Miss Dolly, somehow sitting in the hallway, my butcher's knife in her lap. Someone must have been playing a prank on me. I wasn't happy about it. I thought I heard another creak, and before I could turn around, I swear I saw the doll move on her own. I don't remember anything before that. I woke up in the hospital sometime later. I don't understand how, but I was stabbed multiple times. And when I finally felt enough strength to get up, I felt a strange pain in my chest. I walked into the bathroom, and when I looked in the mirror, I discovered a message. It said, "I'm not your dolly." This is Under the Skin, submitted by Zana Kitty. Don't you see? I'm not the mad one. I'm not the one you should lock up. I saved you, and this is how you treat me? Damn you! May the rats feast on your flesh in hell. Just because you can't see what I see doesn't make me insane. Some people can't see color. Does that make us that can insane? Damn your eyes. What is this? Do you stay when others leave? You're just here to mock me, aren't you? Or no, you are different. You want me to prove that I am of sound mind. I can see how you judge me. It's shown in your eyes. If that is your game, I'll play it, and then you will see the truth. First, no, I did not hate my neighbor. I loved him as if he were my brother. We were dear friends, helping each other through hard times and good times. If you think I was even capable of killing this man, then you're the mad one. So as we're close friends, think of my surprise when I saw him start to act differently than his normal happy self. It started one day when I had him over for dinner, and to my shock, he didn't eat. Now I know what you're thinking. That is not strange. Fool! You know nothing! He was a fat man. He never passed up a good meal. All he had had was a heavy amount of the wine I had brought out. I couldn't understand why. I had asked him and he just brushed me off and assured me nothing was wrong. This strange behavior continued for months until I could not stand it anymore. I went to his house to confront him about it and help him, and that's when I saw it. His house was unkempt, something that was uncharacteristic of him. Then, before I could even step through the door, I heard agonizing sounds of pain coming from his room. It shook me to the core. Maybe what I did next was wrong. You'd think I would have gone to him, but no, I ran. I see it in your eyes. You think I'm a coward. You know nothing. Sorry, I didn't mean to lash out. Please stay. Someone must know the truth. To help out my friend, I went to see a doctor. I described everything that was happening to him as if I were going through it myself. But after telling him what had been going on, he went pale. Leave me at once, he demanded as he grabbed his walking cane. I begged to know what was wrong, but he didn't speak. I fell to my knees and he struck me with his cane. He started to yell that I was a demon and I had come to kill him. He only spoke one word as I ran out. Sakuma. What is Sakuma, you ask? Well, I didn't know at first either, but I couldn't get that word to leave my mind. Sakuma. It haunted me. It still shakes me even now. It gnawed at my mind like a rat until I had to go and find answers as to what it meant. I went to the library to research anything I could find, although this proved hard as nothing I found even had the word Sakuma. It felt as though the closer to the answer I got, the further away it was to being sane. That's when I got desperate. I returned to the doctor. He tried to send me away, but I told him that I had lied. It was really my friend who needed help. He decided to hear me out. I begged him to tell me of the Sakuma, but he refused. He did, however, let me know where I can find out about them. He warned me that in doing so would cause me to see this world as it truly is. He advised that ignorance is bliss, and it was not too late to choose that option. Maybe I should have heeded his warning, but then I wouldn't have known the truth. I would have suffered the same fate as my poor friend. I did some digging and got my hand on some occult documents, something I had not thought to look into before. No, I see your look. Please stay. You must stay. Thank you. Now back to my story. Among the documents was a flesh-bound book, and with an eye on the cover. It felt as though no matter what I did, it was watching me, studying me. As I stared back into the dark abyss of brown, I wondered if it was a human eye. But that's too barbaric, right? No one would do such a thing, right? Please, just nod or something. I need someone who understands. Again, thank you, young man. You're the only one who knows. You're the only one I can trust now. The book was a list, or should I say a journal of monsters, really. The documents were reports about events that seemed unrelated, but I pieced together that they happened because of the Sakuma. And all I can describe them as is they are not man or beast. They're not something our minds could ever conceive. Monster may be the word, but it just doesn't fit. I don't think it comes close to the twisted mess that they really are. And about what they've caused. Am I to be added to it? Am I just another life they took? Another soul they wrecked? Do you shake your head to offer knowledge or comfort? One of the things I discovered was a mound of flesh. Though at first you will only see vines. They grow and grow, and when you aren't looking, you won't notice till they grab you. They wrap around their prey and then they crush them, but they don't kill them. No, they torture them. The vines change to tendrils of flesh, and the mound turns to a grotesque pile of teeth, eyes, and rotting, stinking flesh. As you're pulled closer, it is almost as if you can hear the screams. Maybe it's yours, maybe it's the creature, or maybe it's both. Then you will feel it biting, ripping, breaking your flesh, bones, everything until you're gone. You're just an addition to the flesh, nothing more. It was called the Shikwagoth, but then I found its proper name, the Sakuma. Not one creature, but many. They are small, too small, just lumps of teeth and flesh. They can get anywhere, and they do. They enter a body and take control. The person becomes a mere puppet to them. The person may try to show something is wrong with the little control they have left, but there's not much they can do but act oddly. They can try to starve the beast, but that won't work. They can try to change their mood rapidly to avert loved ones because the Sakuma don't understand human emotion, but it's not a guarantee. The Sakuma can make their host drink alcohol to keep their will broken, all while the Sakuma breed and feast on their new home. Yes, while inside a person, they eat everything around them. The muscles, the bones, the heart, the brain. They leave nothing but the skin so they have something to wear. You can only kill them while they're inside of a body before they eat everything. But once they reach a certain point, it's too late, you see? The body, the person it once was, is dead, only alive enough to suffer. You see, I did what I had to do. It was the only way my friend could stop suffering. I had to kill them, and I would do it again. The Sakuma must be eradicated. I left the occult books somewhere they could never be found. I knew it had to be done. So that night, I grabbed my knife and went to the home of what was once my friend. I knew where he kept his spare key. I unlocked the door and crept in. I passed the empty rooms down the end of the long hall. I quietly opened the door to their bedroom. They seemed to be sleeping, but as my knife gleamed with the faintest hint of the hallway light, they opened their eyes. They tried to scream, but I stabbed and stabbed and stabbed and stabbed over and over again and stabbed again and again and again. Blood, it was everywhere. But I had to keep going. I had to make sure none survived. Once there was nothing left to stab, I took a match and set the house ablaze. I had to ensure they were gone. Once the police arrived, I tried to tell them, and they just took me here. But you see, I don't belong here. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. You understand, right? Why are you leaving? Don't you understand? You must. No. You're one of them. You're one of them. You're one of them. You're one of them. And now, the weather.
Every time I dream, I can hear your voice reaching out to me as I keep drowning in this hard and empty canvas. I will blacken it with tears again. Visions that seem to never end, falling through like an hourglass, shrouded by all these mysteries. Warmth that feels so familiar, heartless words that escape my lips. Laughter threatens to eat my soul, fearing taking a step ahead. What awaits me now is a future of gray, praying to see an answer amongst these broken lies. If my words were to reach you, what would you say? Scattering the light, broken in pieces, shattering the darkness from within. I can hear a voice as it grows distant, pulling me back into life. If I were to lose all that surrounds me, if I were to find only a void, I would give up all my senses just to fall into your arms.
This next story is titled The Portrait I Loved, submitted by the Marble Goddess. I loved her. I went to see her every single day. I bought a year pass to the museum just to gaze upon her beauty. The way her auburn hair fell just right, the way her ocean eyes gazed into my soul. I could tell that she loved me too. She was my soulmate. Her splendor filled my head every day and night. It's been this way for a long time. I met her a year or so ago. I was visiting the museum for work. You see, I'm a journalist for the local newspaper. I was assigned to write an article about a mysterious painting that was left on the doorstep of the museum. No one knows who painted it or where it came from. They decided to feature it in hopes of seeing if the talent who created it would present themselves. When I first saw her, I didn't understand what was so special about her. I was a fool. I know the truth now. I learned just how wonderful she was after visiting the museum the second time. I was doing interviews with the staff. As I waited for the interviewees to prepare, I stared at her, and she stared back. Then she spoke to me. I could hear the sweet, silky sound of her voice, beckoning me to come to her. My heart was pounding. I almost believed I was crazy. Almost. I saw her eyes move. It was as if she was looking me up and down. Once her eyes finally settled on mine, I heard her voice again, telling me that she was watching me when I visited her previously. She told me that she knew I was special, that she knew I was great. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? A beautiful woman telling you how wonderful you are is not something to be scoffed at. And here was the most beautiful woman in the world telling me I was the only man she could ever want. I vowed to visit her every day from then on, and I did. Sometimes I would come in early before work, sometimes I would come in late at night right before the facility closed. I became close friends with the security guard who worked in the evening. His name was James. It's a shame what happened to him, but that's not important right now. The most important thing is what happened the other night after I was finished visiting my love that day. Once I got home, I just couldn't stop thinking of her. That in of itself wasn't unusual, but this time something was different. Every muscle in my body said to go back to the museum, even though I knew it had closed for the evening. Despite knowing that, I listened to what my body told me to do. I got in my car and I drove back. My heart raced as I walked up the steps to the entrance. I don't know why I felt so much adrenaline pumping through me as I tapped on the glass of the front door. At least, I didn't know until I saw James. He opened the door with a confused look. The last expression he ever made. I have no idea where my strength came in that moment as I tackled him to the ground. He struggled. He put up a good fight. I respect that. Too bad he couldn't stop my hands from closing around his throat. And once the life left his eyes, I knew what I had to do. I went to her. My love. My everything. I tentatively reached out to touch her for the first time, and she touched back. Her caress sent shivers through my entire body. I felt her palm against my cheek. I was finally with her. The only emotion I could have felt in that moment was pure bliss. But that quickly changed as the lovely face I had been gazing upon contorted into something that not even my darkest nightmares could perceive. Her hair went from glossy to a ratted mess. Her once ocean eyes were now two black holes with a red light burning into me. Her once fair skin now rotting flesh barely hanging onto the bone. Her hand moved to my throat and I felt her dragging me in. I was hers now. I am hers forever. It's okay. I still love her. Thank you for listening. I am Eurydice. This has been the All Night Society. I now leave you with 4 uninterrupted hours of blissful music.